Moving on, we're going to go to Port. Speaking of Port St. Lucie, we're going to talk some Mets training camp. Big battle, big position battle in camp in Port St. Lucie. The Mets made a series of cuts this a couple of days ago. All of the big prospects: A.J. Ewing, Ryan Clifford, Ryan Lambert, Carl Edwards Jr., all sent down. And the shocking one, because he was signed to a major league deal, M.J. Melendez, who was in contention for the right field spot, he's been sent to minor league camp. He will be starting the season in Syracuse. So that leaves two men for the right field spot. Now, Carlos Mendoza, the Mets manager, he did come out and say that Tyrone Taylor is a lock to make the team, but Tyrone Taylor will be the backup. So Tyrone Taylor is on the team regardless of what happens, but he will not be the everyday right fielder. He could spend some time in center field because they don't think that Luis Robert Jr., who made his spring debut not that long ago, we'll touch on more on that later, but Luis Robert is not going to be an everyday guy. He's been banged up. They're going to work him back slowly, but the plan is to not let Luis Robert play every day until he's up to speed. So Tyrone Taylor will be platooning in center. So that just leaves Carson Benge, the Mets' top offensive position player prospect, up against Mike Tauchman, the veteran, who's a former Chicago White Sox, New York Yankee, and San Francisco Giant. Here is the tale of the tape. And we put up the graphic here. Mike Tauchman hitting .280 with 1 home run, 6 RBIs, and a .939 OPS so far this spring. Of course, we only have a couple of days of spring training and Grapefruit League action left. And then on the right, you see Carson Benge, who is absolutely tearing it up in the Grapefruit League, batting .406, no homers, but 5 RBI, .972 OPS. So he has Tauchman beat in both batting average and OPS. Tauchman 1 more RBI and 1 homer more than Carson Benge. I got a chance to see both of these guys in Mets action in Port St. Lucie when I was there a couple of weeks ago. And I got to say, Carson Benge, I'll start with the young man first. Of course, Carson Benge tore up the minors last season. He reached every level of the minors. He was in Brooklyn. He was in Binghamton. He was in Syracuse. The only thing about Carson is that when he got to Syracuse, that's where he stalled out. He only has 24 games under his belt for Syracuse. And he didn't do well in Syracuse. He hit under 200 in Syracuse last season. Only 24 games of AAA experience. And then you have Mike Tauchman, who hit over 250 last season for the Chicago White Sox. Tauchman's been having a great spring. He's a non-roster invitee, so he's looking to make the club. Again, Mike Tauchman, he has quite a few extra base hits so far this spring in the Grapefruit League. Interesting to note, of course, if the Mets don't start the season with Carson Benge, he'll be in Syracuse because he obviously minor league options. Tauchman is a veteran. No minor league option there. It's either he makes the team or he doesn't. Tauchman, for what it's worth, has looked impressive for a veteran who's trying to continue his career. If I'm Carlos Mendoza and I'm David Stearns, this is what I would do. Again, Carson Benge, small sample size in AAA. Of course, everybody knows the minor league system. Low A, high A, double A, triple A, MLB. Carson Benge. I like Carson a lot. The best thing about him is he has a cannon for an arm. If you look back at our spring training vlog that we posted, the second game that we went to in Grapefruit League action, when the Mets played the Houston Astros back on March 1st, Carson Benge caught a fly ball. Houston had a runner on third, and he threw the ball in at the catcher, and the man on third had to turn back to third because he wasn't going to get there in time. Benge would have gunned him out. So Carson Benge has high upside. Of course, this kid is young. Carson Benge, only 23 years old. He's going to be a stud, but I would like to see him get some more seasoning before he gets brought up to play Major League Baseball. Of course, with spring training, again, the competition is uneven because you have a lot of minor leaguers in camp. You have a lot of non-roster guys trying to make it. So it's not like the opposing teams in Florida this time of year are putting their best players on the field. They're not fielding the best possible teams to win. Everybody's trying to see what they have in camp so that they can evaluate. Tauchman, on the other hand, again, it's either he makes the team or he doesn't. Tauchman, if he does make the team, he gets a major league salary. I'd be very surprised if he got more than the veterans minimum. So he could produce, and it wouldn't even cost the Mets that much to keep him around. So if Tauchman made the team, I would not be opposed. If Tauchman struggles early on, you could always cut him. I would imagine maybe at most he might get a $1 or $2 million contract. If he struggles, you can let him go. And if you have to pay him out, it's not going to be a significant write-off for David Stearns in the front office to make. Then you could bring Benge up if he starts the season in Syracuse tearing it up. But or they could carry both. Because what happens is Francisco Lindor starting the season in Flushing, if he's good to go with the hamate bone, then there's no need to carry two extra shortstops, meaning Ronnie Mauricio will probably stick around as the backup, and Vidal Brujan will either go to Syracuse or be put on waivers. So Lindor also factors into this in a roster spot freeing up, because if Lindor starts the season on the injured list, then Brujan and Mauricio probably both make the team. If Lindor is ready to start the season in Flushing, then Brujan is probably packing his bags and going somewhere. I don't even want him in Syracuse, but we'll get to that a little later. But so a lot of variables that could have either Tauchman, Benge, or both Tauchman and Benge.